Hey there, pony people. Let's talk about some troubleshooting at the canter. Do you have a horse that maybe leans on your hands, gets a little quick, and the longer you're cantering, the faster you're cantering? Or perhaps you have a horse that swaps their hind end and changes their lead constantly. Or even a horse that doesn't necessarily want to go right into the canter and just speed trots. And finally, the ones that buck going into the canter or just because they're cantering. Let's discuss that. When you have a horse that doesn't want to go into the canter and just speed trots, that's a problem with wanting to go forward. To address this, I'm going to make sure that horse goes into the canter, no matter how not pretty it is, so that they understand this is what we're doing, and then I'm going to stop them and release. This is their reward. Remember, most horses that don't want to go into the canter prefer breaks. They want to rest, so let that be their reward. You did it. Good job. I'm going to release the pressure by letting you stop and taking it away. If they keep speeding up after a few tries, I will stop them and back them while trotting to make them realize this is more difficult than just going into the canter. Next, you're going to see how she will go into the canter nicely because she's understanding what's happening, and I go no more than 6 to 8 strides before stopping and releasing the pressure and petting my horse. This is going to teach your horse that we will be stopping soon after. There is no point in getting heavy and just trying to drag me. That is going to help fix your problem with your horse getting heavy and just pulling you around the arena. It's also going to help with the bucking, and it's going to help with the switching of leads because these are all problems with balance. Here we go again. Goes right into the canter as of the first exercise helping. No more than 8 to 10 strides max. Depends on the horse, 6 to 8, 8 to 10. Stop, release, and pet. Now the idea here is that our horse is learning to stay on their hind end and stay more balanced so that they don't feel the need to get so top heavy and drag us around or kick out because they're not balanced and they're uncomfortable or swap leads constantly. Once they get comfortable with this exercise after a handful of times, or a handful of rides rather, you can try cantering for longer. And as soon as you feel them start to get heavy, same thing, you're going to stop them, sometimes adding a little back in, and release when they respond. This is going to also teach sensitivity, so your horse doesn't ignore your hands and your aids when you tell them to come back to you. But the moment that it starts to snowball and you get a half a mile an hour quicker or heavier is when you're going to come back. You're not going to wait for it to get to 7, 8, 9, 10 miles an hour and get out of control. As soon as you feel that weight shift, you're going to bring them back and remind them, hey. And then you can slowly transition that into being half halts where they start to get heavy. They feel you holding a little bit, and then they start to rock back, expecting you to come back to the trot. And then voila, you continue on because there was no need to come back since they responded, and you've now helped your horse balance. Additionally, you can help your horse out by getting out of that half seat and sitting down in the tack, using your core to help them balance and rock back. Really try to stick to less than 10 strides. I like 8. It seems to be a good number to help those horses get into the canter, give a little bit of a release for that canter, and then come back onto their hind end to stop. Again, slowly transitioning into half halts instead of full stops, and then coming back if they start to ignore the half halts so that they don't become hard-mouthed and ignoring your hands. These exercises should help your horse happily move up into the canter, come back to you a little bit easier, and stay a little more balanced in between because when there's lots of transitions up and down, the horse is constantly going to be on their toes or on their butts, hopefully, and paying attention to what you're asking, engaging their core, engaging their hind end, and waiting for what the rider is asking next. That's all for today, folks. And just remember, good things don't come without a little bit of friction. Don't be afraid to put in that hard work on that horse that's giving you a little bit of pushback. It'll be worth it.